You saying you ain't no punk bitch? I mean, I need
Yeah.
meat,
Um. Oh, look at that. He's already hurt.
bitch. And I think you should be, even what you're talking about now, I think is a nice outline. You can kind of just keep going with that, and then you're good.
What a pussy. Here, get me.
You get it with the picky poo, yeah.
Oh, watch it. No, no, don't get out. Don't get out.
Oh my goodness, I just got a quarter health hit. I didn't see Freddy
Yeah,
Krueger down
that's how
there.
it's.
Holy shit.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Ark Survival in the Extinction server. I'm here with my friend jademonkey,
Yeah.
and today we're gonna be breaking it down on this little thing that I love to call satellite bases. I'll explain more in depth with it with jademonkey, but let's get right into the episode. Basically, this base was considered a satellite base. Now, satellite bases were actually started by Razor and Jade back in the island, where I kind of like took the craft and mastered it. So, what's the satellite base, you may ask? This one is considered technically a metal satellite base. So basically, what it is if you need a particular resource of something, what I would do is that I'll find a place in the map where there's a high concentration of it, and I'll build the base there on pillars or anywhere like far away where it won't mess up the spawns, but I'm still close enough. So for example, we're gonna use this. This one's a metal satellite base. So there's a lot of metal here in the redwood biomes and all around it, like tons of metal. So I decided to tell Jade I'm gonna build here, put a bunch of forges up, like a good 15 or so, and then just come here, farm metal, and then leave it there smelting it, and then kind of like go about our business. Come back later with RGs with him and I, and then we'll haul all of that metal ingots back home.
Well, show
Now,
some
as
of the metal we
emphasize,
got back here, though. I mean, ready? Just straight back from where you're at. Like right here.
got you.
Oh, actually, some of these nodes
So
aren't coming back in, but yeah, like we have the metal's close, is your point.
yeah, like there's metals all around it. Like this is just like around it. Like this one's not good. Like over here, come follow me, Jay. Um, Basically to continue the thing is that how we do is that what I specify metal ingots is because like 200 raw metal will be like when it's burnt down it will be 100 metal, but it weighs the same, like 200 metal ingots weighs the same as 200 raw metal. But you see, you're carrying 100 more metal back that you could actually process rather than just like have to burn it down. So at the end of the day, you're making more trips because the idea behind satellite bases is that you're able to get the loot and then bring it back home secure. So when it comes to metal, that's one of the key things in this game. Metal and cementing paste. That's one of the biggest things if you want to hit the next tier, the alpha tier, bullets, turrets, all of the above. So we built this base. Oh, we got bugs coming in. We built
Ah,
this base
shit.
basically. There you go. Got
Yeah,
him.
yeah, we gotta kill him. You get him already? Good dude.
Yeah, I got him. We built this base with the intention of it's gonna get hit and it's not supposed to take a hit.
Is
It's
that why
just
there's
for you to
holes
get
all
the
over this
metal.
base?
Yeah. So this base was secure for a while before somebody figured out where it was because of course when you light up the furnace, it's a beacon in the freaking sky when somebody's passing by and they just see something cooking. So then Jade came with the idea of like let's put turrets around this base to be able to at least defend from trolls because we had a couple of people coming in trying to hatchet the doors and stuff like that because it's made out of stone. It's the easiest thing and we're trying to save the metal and bring it back home because what a lot of people would do is that most likely they would just metal out the whole base, but at the end of the day, like what's the point? Like if they break in, there's nothing in here for them to take. It's just like a bunch of furnaces and like a smithy and
Well,
like a couple of storage
and
boxes.
when we
We put a
did,
vault in there,
yeah, when we did have something
but
of
it was
value,
just
we
to
put the
basically
vault
like
down.
secure the metal. Yeah, basically we put the vault down to if we found like drops or anything like that or any of that source, you put something in there. That and let's say you want like the metal was cooked but you didn't have nobody to come with you, you would just take out the metal and put it in the vault. Nobody's gonna break a vault, you
That
know,
early.
especially not. Yeah, like people really have to think about if they're gonna want to break a vault or not. That's like 24 rockets that you might waste for nothing. Anyway, back to the whole thing is so then this bases are basically built on the cheap. Usually I like to build them small. This one kind of got a little out of hand and it got big because we ended up like staying around here a lot because of the metal and how much resources were around here. So we kind of built the big and that, and we built the big also to be able to like put the birds inside and not have them get attacked by RGs or wildlife. So it started to get big, but usually these bases run small. Like, what I usually built them like 2x4 foundations or something like that. Start out small with a couple of furnaces and then get bigger and bigger and bigger, up to the point where you're cooking all this metal and bringing it back home. And then if somebody were to break in, it's made out of stone, so you could just rebuild it on the fast. You know, it has furnaces which are not that expensive. It has like stone walls and everything. So if somebody were to break in, they'll just break the door and then they'll break the smithy and the furnaces, and you come back and you can just rebuild them and then put the door back up and stuff like that. And you'll be good to go again. These things are meant to take hits, and it's basically like you would call it a troll base in other words. Like people come in thinking they're gonna get paid and there's nothing in there. So they get pissed and they break everything and then they leave. You just come back, fix it, and then go back on the metal run. That's the key. Now, if it comes to pearls, the same thing. When it comes to like getting trees or like any specific, like I don't know, like I remember when we were on the center, I built them like around beaver dams, and they were pretty small. And then all they had in there was a smithy. It didn't even have anything. It was just like a small room with a smithy. And then why a smithy? Because it's small. It fits on a 1x1 foundation, and not to mention the fact that it carries 75 slots. Like that's a lot more than a freaking large storage box, you know. And then what I would do is that I would just go out, and then when somebody sees like a 1x1, like nobody really go raids it. People are like, oh, whatever. But if somebody sees something that it's a little tall, they'll be like, oh, there's boxes in there. Let's go raid them. So what I'll do is that I'll just go out and get like beaver dam, like cement and paste, and then put it in the smithy, and then walk out, and then eventually come back and pick all that cement and paste and wood back up. But I guess I'm getting out of hand here. So Jade is gonna help me explain what happened here. But before that, I'll probably put some footage on how the base used to look before it got raided.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell.
But yeah, the base served this purpose. We're in another tier level right now. This base is basically not as useful as it was because we were able to build a better processing plant. But it served its purpose, which is to get us into that alpha tier when it came to metal. We used to get, like, put it to you this way, guys. With this base, since nobody really attacked it like that, and nobody really, like, bothered to come around, and especially when we did turrets, we used to be able to literally, like, within, like, an hour, maybe less than 2 hours, get, like, a good,
On foot.
what was it, like, yeah, on foot also. We don't have an Anki. We just have RGs to carry the raw metal back and forth. I used to get, just like by myself, like a good 5,000 metal ingots. Not like raw metal, but 5,000 metal ingots. And if you got the cement and paste on lock, like that's gonna build you a straight up metal base. Like, so if you guys were wondering how is it that you guys went from stone to like metal, like nothing, this is why. But okay, you want to elaborate what happened here?
Sure. Okay, so looking at this footage, every catwalk you see here had a turret on it. We had one over here, just above the what is this? It's not an RG. What the hell is pterodon? I couldn't think of the name of that little creepy scrotum sack looking bird. We have
brain fart?
Yeah, we have one over here, and we have one in the back, and I think you can already kind of tell where the chink in the armor was. The fields of fire were pretty cute around here, but this big underbelly right here, and this was foundation, this was foundation, this was a wall, this is a wall here, but then at this point, these were up on these metal ceilings here with metal pillars, and obviously the vault was on top of there. And our generator was on the inside, right here on this open hatch frame on the stone. So, I mean, once you have a turret sitting down, it's pretty easy to tell when those little lines start drawing into the base, so you can kind of guess as to where that generator is going to be. Again, this was more to pull aggro. So what they did was is they came up, probably barrel rolled with a bird as fast as they could, up past this, hi-yo, my legs. They probably barrel rolled, actually I'm almost positive, they barrel rolled up through here, got up to the underbelly. Obviously the fields of fire were covered, or they were blind, right? So this turret here couldn't
Yeah.
see.
The tourists can't get
That
them.
one couldn't see. So then they probably just got really low, threw a bunch of grenades at the foundation, kind of like this. You just kind of get low and then you just throw it so it doesn't roll. And they probably knocked down one of these stone walls because this was a mixture of metal and stone. As you can see right here, most of the areas that were metal are the areas that had a turret sitting on top. So you couldn't just get like a real cheap fucking grenade and clip it down. So yeah, they eventually got up under here. Once they got the generator down, I mean, they went on the rooftop and then they started grenading down because this whole first floor was actually, it was all completely
Metal.
isolated and there was just one ladder to get up to where Lazer's standing. And the only way you could do that to blow upwards is to blow up the ladder. And I think they knew that, which also, you know what, that reminds me, I bet you it's the same people that attacked the first time. 'Cause how else would you know that,
Yeah,
right?
because the first time somebody broke in through the door with a bunch of hatchets, they broke in and then they kind of knew the layout of the base because they knew that they were only able to get on the first floor and destroy the smithy. And then the second floor was basically for us to park the birds on and stuff like that. And that's where the forges were at, which is where I'm standing up on. But they made it and they broke everything in the bottom, which was like a smithy and a bed, and I think a couple of boxes. But there was nothing in any of them. The most they got out of it was probably like a couple of metal ingots to fix tools and stuff like that,
But not
and
even a
wood and
stack
like
of 100, like
fiber and
not
stuff.
even. Our rule is
Yeah, like
always,
I'm talking about like a stack of like 20 or something like
yeah.
that. It wasn't much.
But what's our,
But the funny thing is that they weren't able to come upstairs because they knew if they broke the reinforced door, they were gonna break the wooden ladder. That's another thing that we do, guys. Whenever I see a lot of people, sometimes that they put like metal ramps and stuff like that, you have to understand, or like metal ladders, like that's cool and everything, guys. And I understand like you're probably gonna put in the comments like, oh, this is why it was like, but in reality, when we do that, we built like wooden stuff because then that would stop the raiders from coming and proceeding. Because if you have like a metal, I don't know, if you have a metal ladder, like it's gonna take a couple of hits before it breaks. Well, a wooden is gonna destroy instantly, and then it kind of stops them because then now they can't get upstairs, and now they have to figure out how they're gonna come up from the top and make their way bottom.
you
That's
can't
why
go
for a
vertical.
while when you came to raiding, yeah, that's why a lot of times what people would do is that when they started raiding, they will come kind of start from the top instead of making their way from the bottom up, because of things like that.
Well, and they knew
But
to go
anyway, on
down.
this floor is where we had the forges, and it kind of like in this corner, it was all full of forges, all full of forges, like in a U formation. It was all full of forges, and then I just kind of put catwalks around it, so then you could fit the other. And I fit like about like 15 in just this little room if you like kind of like scooch them all together. And then like right here where the forges ended, I put a couple of like mortar and pestles to kind of burn all the stone that I was getting and stuff like that. Just kind of put it there, and then I would just go up for flint, and then just turn it all into spark powder, and then burn it down with spark powder. Or sometimes, a lot of times, we'll use wood just to be able to get that charcoal. All right, guys, that about does it for this episode. Up top where we talk about satellite bases. Tune in next time. Where let's see what happens. The server's almost coming to an end. We're like on what, like the end of week 2 now? Maybe
We're
like the
half,
beginning of week 3.
we're about halfway through.
Yeah, so the server's gonna end soon. We don't know what we're gonna do with the after the extinction server stops. We're probably gonna start another series, but we're gonna take a break. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe, guys. All right then, peace.